want to talk about today whatever comes to my mind. Basically, that's just basically what I want to talk about. There's no real picture to show you guys because every time I try to show a picture, it ends up being totally dark. So I don't even know what to show you of me. And talk. You're just gonna have to listen to me. And we're gonna talk about whatever comes to my mind. That's the kind of conversation that we're gonna have. Because I don't really know what else to say in this instance. Just look out at just look at that, my speaker, I guess. And I'm just gonna talk to you guys. My name is Linda Galloway, and I am a seeker of the truth. I'm a spiritual person, and regrettably finder of the truth. I'm finding out about a lot of things that is blowing my mind. But in all you're getting, you have to get understanding. Otherwise, you'll have so much information that you'll become confused. What I am concerned about right now is the condition of the black man and the black woman. Are we going to truly survive for the next few centuries, or maybe even just a few decades? Or are we going to eventually die off because of so many things happening, where we see so many black men today marrying outside of their race and altering how we look as a people? Very few black women are actually dating outside of their race. So how does the black race continue to go forward and survive and multiply itself? Well, the revolutionaries, the people who have black pride, I'm pretty sure will continue to allow us to go forward and multiply, so that we as a black people would not fade out. But it's the younger generation that has to be taught by their parents to love their self, their culture, their skin tone, and their hair. If we are not taught to love our skin tone and our hair texture, then we're going to create another generation of black people, women and men, that are going to hate the women is going to hate herself. She's going to want her hair to be different. She's going to have a weave in it. She's going to try to dye her skin lighter or whatever. She's going to get plastic surgery and breast implants. We do not want that to happen to the next generation of black women. So we are trying to teach black power, black love of yourself as a black woman. Yes, we do live in a white world society, but we also live in this world. And because we live in this world, it's time for us to take a stand and stand up for our own self and our own beauty and our own culture. It's time for us to love ourselves more now than we've ever loved ourselves. It's time for us to unite more than we've ever had to unite, because we have the enemy against us. The enemy is shooting us and killing us for no reason. The enemy is kidnapping us and for their own evil agendas and purposes. It's time for us as black people to stand together and unite and embrace each person that's black. I don't care if the other person is partially white or partially Chinese or partially Hispanic. As long as you're black and you belong to the community of black people, you're black. So let us embrace all of us that are black, even half black, so we can stand together, because united we stand and divided we will fall. Let us light-skinned blacks, high yellow, red bone, and dark-skinned and chocolate and brown-skinned, let us come together and realize that we are all black. We are all put in the same boat as the other. Do not be brainwashed, dark-skinned women, into believing that light-skinned women have it better. We are all put under the same umbrella by white people. So don't get fooled into thinking that one is better than the other because of their skin tone. We are all. The KKK isn't going to treat a lighter woman differently than they're going to treat a black or dark-skinned woman differently. They're both going to be racist against both of them. They're going to treat them both like dirt. So do not be fooled into thinking that light-skinned and blacks are different. They're the same as dark-skinned and blacks. They go through the same issues. They have issues with their skin tone. They have issues with their features. They have issues with their hair. They have issues with black people, with each other. If we keep fighting and not standing by each other in decades to come, we will not be a strong force. The white world America will take over and have power over us. And we will not be a force to be reckoned with. If we go down the path of just being rappers and drug dealers and falling into that trap of ghetto life, more and more of us are going to flood the prison system because they don't care about us. Like Michael Jackson said in his song, they will put you in jail for 5 and 10 years for a little tiny bit of reefer, which right now they're trying to say it's legal medical marijuana. Somebody has to stand up and start creating. We need conferences. We need conferences to empower us as black people, not just to make us love ourselves and our skin texture. If we're light, because there are light-skinned women that hate themselves because they feel like they're not the original black woman. Red bone and tan, they feel out of place because they feel like they're not dark enough, and that's not good either. That makes them don't feel good. And then you have ones that think they're not good enough because they're not light enough. Look, as black people in all shades, colors, textures, and body types, and hair textures, we have to learn to embrace us, all of us, and love all of us. If you start to hate one over the other and yet they're still black, we're not going to be able to unite. The rich, wealthy blacks, you have to unite with the poor blacks and the ghetto blacks. We have to remember that we are all black at the end of the day. So we have to work together so that we can be a strong people. We have to create conferences. I want to have a conference, but I want a partner. I don't want to do it by myself. And I want to have conferences to encourage black people to be strong. Anybody who has that strong burning desire to come in would be able to speak at this conference. Overcoming drug addiction, overcoming having that poverty-like mind that we stay in because we've been brainwashed into believing that we can't do nothing but sell drugs and shake our ass by the mass media. We've been hypnotized into believing that. And nobody's trying to do best. They're saying, well, they're not for us, so why should we be for them? And then you go down the life crime and stuff to make money instead of trying to get a job. We need to create our own black businesses. We need to stop dressing like hoes and prostitutes. Get rid of those revealing skirts and tops. We're ladies. We're not hoes. We are descendants of kings and queens and other things. We are not descendants of hoes and sluts. It's what the white man has made us into being. And we have brainwashed ourselves into believing that as well about ourselves. Black men, please stop running away from the black woman. Stop running away from marriage and commitment and relationships with black women. You're putting us in a bad situation where a lot of us are not married because of you not wanting to marry us. Start to realize that if we don't love each other and support each other, then the white world is going to win. They already have businesses and stuff more than we do, because if we start to have a business and focus on that business, we could be that black person that has something. But if we don't do it, we won't have nothing. The key is that we got to stand together and unite. Both of us, men, black women. We have to start out by first loving ourselves. We've been taught to hate ourselves for so many different reasons. We've been taught that we're not smart and that we can't be smart because they're smarter than us. We've been brainwashed into believing that. If you start to believe that you're ugly, then eventually that's what you'll feel. If you start to believe you're stupid, then that's what you'll act on. You'll start to think, maybe I am stupid. So it's a way of just brainwashing a person into believing something that's basically not true about who they are. So we need to be re-educated about who we are. We need to be re-educated about our appearances and our looks, and we need to be proud of it and embrace it in this American culture. Instead of trying to turn into what the white world media mass wants us to be, we need to turn into what we really are and embrace it. The Spanish community refuses to speak English. That's why they have TV shows in Spanish. Just like they united and said, no, you're not going to take our language away from us in America. We'll speak bilingual before you take away our language. And they stood up for that. And that's why you have Spanish translations now everywhere, even in the courtroom. If they could stand up for their right to speak Spanish, we need to stand up for our right to have our own businesses as black people. We need to stand up for our rights to support more black colleges. We need to stand up for our right to get education so we can get a good job and make a difference in the world. But we need to do that around our people. Those of us who are going to be more supportive of what we're doing. Don't be afraid and brainwashed into not going to the black colleges. Google them up and get information on black colleges and look forward to bringing your child to a black college for education. If there's any kind of on-the-job training programs, try to find out about those that are black owned, and we get more support that way. Because you have to understand, there are people out there that don't want us to make it just because we're black. They don't want us to make it. So start trying to work with people that want us to make it, people that's supportive, other black people that's supportive. Start to form organizations that's going to encourage black women, and do organizations that's going to encourage black men, young black boys and young black girls to carry themselves in a decent and respectable way, so that the next decade, we won't have a decade of stupid boys running around doing stupid rap songs, but we'll have young boys with jobs and careers and entrepreneurs and building up businesses to make a difference as a black man. Instead of black women getting crazy plastic surgeries on their breasts and butts and fake chemical like weaves in their hair that can cause damage in your hair, because you're first of all, you're killing your scalp. Your scalp is not being allowed to breathe, so you may be permanently damaging your hair by doing that. We have to learn how to take care of black hair, grow it back, take care of it, and start wearing it. Forget about all these other things, these weaves. Weaves is something that we should completely stop doing. It's not healthy, it's dangerous. Extensions is even better than weaves. At least your hair can breathe with extensions, but they cannot breathe with weaves. Even eventually that should be taken out of the picture as well. We need to learn how to love ourselves. We are not going to be a strong force in the world until we learn to embrace and love who we are as a people. And I mean completely love who we are. Our body types, our shapes, our skin colors, our textures, and most importantly, our hair. We are the only race on the earth who hates our hair, who makes companies billions of dollar businesses on purchasing human hair, somebody else's energies on our hair, or fake synthetic hair. That is extremely unhealthy to be sold into your hair like that. You're better off wearing a wig and taking it off than having a weave sewed into your hair. That is not healthy for your hair, your scalp. That's not great. It's not something that should be done at all. But we're so brainwashed into trying our best to not look black. I would rather to see some of us put hair textures in our hair and perms than for us to put weaves in it. But I know a lot of black people can't. Some black people can't handle that kind of stuff either. So it'd be better off to wash, conditioning, and then there's some hot combs that you might be able to use to straighten your hair that, that can make it more safe. These hot brush combs, they may not damage your hair. I don't know. But there's got to be a way to take care of your hair where you don't have to have all that fake stuff. Black men, stop calling black women bitches every time you talk. How is the black man and the black woman going to really appreciate each other if the black man is busy calling the black woman a bitch every 2 seconds? What's going to happen to us as a people? You keep calling the black woman a bitch even when you're not mad at her. You just regularly refer to her as a bitch. If we continue to do this, we are going to break down as a people. And those of us who are conscious and believe that we should stand together and unite together, we will continue to stand and unite. But the only thing is how many of us? Because it's very important that the next generations to come are going to be black empowered people, not slaves to the white man or to the American culture. If we continue to go forward in the way that we're going now, we're not going to make no difference in this world. We're just going to be a part of this big mass bowl of confusion. People are going to continue to believe that we're stupid. Society has said that we're nothing. Society says that black people haven't created nothing but dancing and music and acting and singing. It doesn't show all the stuff that we created in American culture, in American history. It doesn't show all the things that we invented. You're only going to find that out through the black African American history books. We need to bring that to the mass attention to let people know that we are smart and educated, that there has been heart surgeons and doctors that are black. This needs to be taught more in our American culture so that we won't have this stigma. We have a stigma. They have a stereotype thing attached to us that we're all stupid, when in reality we're the ones who originated everything. Anyway, I'm going to stop now because I don't want to run out of time, because if I use up too much time my video won't play. But if anybody has any comments that they want to say about this, please be positive, because you're wasting your time when you send me negative messages. Be for this. If you're going to be against it, there's no really point to send a message. There's no point in sending a comment. But if you want to share your ideas about everything I said in a positive and adult-like way, then I'd like to hear from you. And eventually I'm going to be able to do videos in some type of light so that you'll be able to actually see me and stuff like that. I don't know when that's going to happen, because my videos have to be done in private. Peace out, and shalom to my brothers and my sisters.